Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Inside the Den podcast. We are officially back from winter break. Feels good. Here today, we are joined exclusively by new head coach of St. Vincent College football, Mr. Casey Goff. Coach Goff, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me.
Of course, yeah, we're super excited. As we were just talking about before we hit record, this is only your first and a half second day here, so you're still kind of getting the vibe
Absolutely.
here and everything. We're recording in between the men's and women's basketball games, so a lot going on. But first, I just want to hear a little bit about your football and coaching history and what path did you take to coming here to St. Vincent?
Yeah, it's been a long journey. I started my coaching career at my alma mater, so I'm a Susquehanna University grad, and I was on the extended 4.5-year plan. And when I had my extra semester, I got on as a student assistant. From there, I immediately went to Muhlenberg College, where I had the pleasure and the honor to work under the late Duke Donnelly, and learned a lot under Mike. And from there, I took a high school job. Worked at Emmaus High School for a couple of years. Was fortunate to work for Joe Bonaleri, who had come to Emmaus from a stint as a head coach at Lehigh. And then kind of realized I wanted to get into college coaching. From there, I'm Cortland State up in central New York, spent a couple of years there. I was at Rhodes College down in Memphis, Tennessee. Came up to Washington and Jefferson College from 07 to 09. From there, I was at King's College in Wilkes-Barre, PA, Salve Regina in Newport, Rhode Island. Got my first head coaching job when I went out to Defiance College in Northwest Ohio. Went there as a defensive coordinator in my first season, and in year two, became the head coach. From there, was fortunate enough to land at the College of New Jersey, where I spent the 2017 to 2023 there. We did a lot to turn a program around. We were the coaching staff of the year in 2023, and from there, I kind of wanted to, we talked about getting our wife a little closer to her family, and present some new opportunities for us. Took a high school job in 2024. That just didn't work out, wasn't for me. Was excited to get back in the college game, and was really fortunate enough for an opportunity like this to open up at St. Vincent, where, my time at W&J, that's kind of when they had restarted the program here. But you could tell, just based on facilities, based on campus, based on location, really felt like even back then, this is a place where you can win football games if you do it the right way.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what specifically made St. Vincent such an appealing place? You mentioned the facilities and the grandstands and all that, but was there something about the people here that drew you to it?
I didn't have a full understanding of the people. What I knew was, it felt like, when you step foot on this campus, it really is, it's a beautiful place. So it's got appeal when you get on campus. And you could tell just based on facilities, even back then, you could tell, hey, there's an investment in this thing.
For sure.
That there's always going to be the potential when there's an investment, when people really care. And the location, you're smack dab in the middle of football country. I think anytime you're perched in the Whippeal, you've got an opportunity to make some noise. You've just got to take full advantage of it. And honestly, being such a highly respected Catholic institution with values and with an academic reputation, I think, that lends itself to being a place where we could be a destination for Catholic school kids. You got people choose Catholic high schools for specific reasons. I know when I was in New Jersey, our son attended a Catholic elementary school, and we picked St. Anne's for a reason. And I think we can appeal to kids. And I think when you have the kind of the things that are the lessons that are learned at Catholic high schools, and you see the production out of Catholic high schools in terms of quality football, you got to tap that resource, and you can do that when you're at a school like St. Vincent, on top of grabbing those public school kids. For
sure. You start a little bit of my next question. Football is obviously a massive part of the culture out here. It's a little bit different than I saw things growing up at home. It's not huge in South Jersey the way I think it is here. I remember my freshman year, there's RVs lined up for tailgating and stuff before football games and all that. So do you think that type of energy is going to help you, especially in your first year? Just I can't think of the word at the moment, but is that going to help you just kind of be ready to hit the ground running come August and September this year?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's something we have to continue to leverage is the love of football in this area. And I think there's things that we can do to make it even more appealing to come to football games and for kids who are students here at St. Vincent to get more engaged with football games. But part of doing that is creating a product that people want to come and watch.
For sure, yeah.
And you grab enough homegrown kids, you've got enough local folks in the area, it's going to be a draw. We need to make sure that kids understand and families understand and the community understands, like, we're going to make this big time where we are. We're a Division III institution, Division III program, but it doesn't have to feel like that. And I think more and more Division III institutions are understanding that you can create a product and an environment that rivals any big school. So I think, it might take a little time. We're going to go through our ups and downs in year one. I think we've got a lot of work to do in terms of kids that are here. Need to have a full investment in this offseason, and we need to be fully invested in what we're doing from a recruiting landscape. But that's why I'm here. I'm here to do those things and do it the right way with the right type of kids.
Awesome. I know in your first official words with the college, you mentioned that the academics are very important to you, which I love. So how do you think that you'll be able to balance making sure that our student athletes are both students and athletes?
It's my job. It's my job. The question of balancing that shouldn't be a question. That's our responsibility as football coaches. So especially if you've got a kid that maybe is quote unquote at risk, you've got to make sure you're doing everything you can do to make him successful at an institution. But you also have to take a long, hard look at the individuals you're bringing on a college campus and are they prepared? Are they ready for college curriculum? Where are they in terms of character? What do their head coaches have to say about them? What do their guidance counselors have to say about them? So I think once they're here, we're going to have plans in place within the staff to have an offensive and defensive academic coordinators. We're going to be on top of monitoring where our kids are academically. We're going to have meetings with them on a regular basis academically, because I just feel like that's part of our responsibility as football coaches. When you bring kids, it's 4 years to set up the next 40. So it has to start with academics, and kids have to understand that that's the priority. That's why you are here, that you can't have one without the other. If you aren't getting it done in the classroom, you're not going to be on the football field. So selfishly also, we obviously need to keep kids eligible, and you need to keep them in a comfortable eligibility. So that's part of our job.
Right. Yeah. You want your best.
It's a huge part of our job. Yeah. That's a huge part of what we do.
So obviously that's definitely an important trait for you. For guys, as you said, you're going to just get on the road to start recruiting soon and over the next few years. What are some of the qualities that you're going to want to look for in recruits that are going to come here?
I think one thing that's always beneficial in recruiting is going out there to championship programs. Making sure you're getting into the top high school programs in the area, especially locally. We need to make sure there's no stone left unturned in the Whippeal. We need to have a presence. That's why every coach on our staff is going to have an area within the Whippeal. We need to make sure we have a handle on all the Catholic schools within 3 hours of our campus. I need to be in there. We need to have communication with every Catholic school within 7 hours. But we're going to look for high character kids, okay, that are doing a terrific job of balancing academics and athletics, because I think they go hand in hand. If you've got a kid that's a strong kid academically, then you understand he has a level of commitment. He has a level of understanding what it means to be a college athlete. And you better believe film evaluation is going to be a major part of what we do. It's not going to be, hey, we're going to go out there and recruit every kid. We're not looking to bring in 85 freshmen on a yearly basis. I've got my ideas of where I want our roster to be, and we need to make sure we're retaining kids, so we're recruiting the same amount of kids on a regular basis and coming up with the formula that works to hit those numbers.
Awesome. And if I understand correctly, you had a meeting earlier today with all your new players.
Yes. Current players, yep.
Yeah, current players. If you could just go into what the atmosphere was like, how it was meeting them for the first time.
It was great. I think it's a matter of that first introduction. We kept it pretty brief. I didn't get into super, in depth in terms of too many things when we talk about our rules and the things that we need to do. We're going to handle all that before the start of spring ball. But I wanted to establish is that there's going to be a change in terms of the way we conduct ourselves. There's going to be accountability. There's expectations. And they need to understand that right now is the critical time to work. They've got to be in the weight room. They've got to be doing things on their own. They've got to be doing the things now that are necessary to be successful in August. So that was the basis of that meeting, just making sure they understand what my expectations are of them right now, because I'm going to be in and out. There's two of us on staff right now. We're going to work as quickly as we can to fill that staff, but me and Coach Johnston have to get on the road and we got to recruit, so I'll be in and out on campus. So our kids, I'm leaving a lot of that in the hands of Omar in the weight room, and he's got to make sure these guys are on task, and he's got to let me know if they aren't. But that's kind of what we were establishing in that first meeting.
So my final question is, how do you and the coaches that you will bring in, and I'm sure you'll talk about this when you decide what coaches to bring in, how do you plan to sort of bridge the gap between the old regime, so to speak, and you, especially for some of these guys who've been here for a few years now, not necessarily freshmen who've only played for 1 year, but some of these guys who have gotten used to a certain way here? How do you want to transition them?
I'm going to be honest. There's, and this is going to, this might sound harsh, but there is not going to be any bridging of a gap. Like, we are going to establish what our culture is. And kids need to be on board, or it's okay if they aren't. You're just not going to be a St. Vincent college football player. A big part of what we're going to do is establish how we want to do things moving forward. I told them, listen, I'm not concerned with the past. I'm not concerned with what's happened the last few years. I'm not worried about that. What I'm worried about is establishing something special and moving forward. And these are the things that we have to do, and you need to be on board in order to get it done. So if my hope is that everybody who was in that room and kids that were in class that I didn't get a chance to meet are on board with how we do things, but we're going to do it our way. There's not going to be any bending or melding of the way things were. This is going to be St. Vincent football moving forward.
Do you have any last questions?
No, I'm all good. Thank you very much for your time.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, I'm sure you're a busy couple of days, so we appreciate it.
I know, I got to get in there before that start of the game. Or Coach Harris is going to be all kinds of upset.
You'll enjoy.
I'm going to blame you guys, though.
You'll enjoy the men's basketball team. I guarantee you that.
Thank you very much again.
Thank you.